Hi guys, today we're going to be doing this fall and winter appropriate smoky eye. It's a combination of plum and orange. It's really beautiful and really easy, and you can make it as intense or as, basic for every day as you would like. I'll show you both ways. So let's get started. Get ready to see my bare face as usual. First, we're going to start by putting some tape on our eyes to be able to have a crisp edge. I usually use really cheap tape because really nice tape sticks too much to your face and can pull on your skin, and that's never a good thing. So it's the cheap tape that I use, and I'm going to put that MAC ProLongwear concealer on my eyes to prep it because it is made to not crease for under the eye, so I figure it must work for on top of the eye, right? And then I'm going to use a Sigma E40 tapered blending brush, and I'm going to be taking my Morphe Matte 35N palette and this kind of beigey orange shade and putting that in my crease, focusing it equally on the outside as much as on the inside. We're doing a true windshield wiper rainbow motion here. This is going to be our transition shade. And now I'm going to use my Sigma E25, which is a little bit thinner, and I'm going to get this true orange shade and place that in my crease as well, but just underneath that transition color that we laid down. So we're trying to create a gradient effect. If you can see how I'm kind of turning the brush so that it stays true to its shape within my eye socket, you want to make sure you do that because otherwise it could kind of splash all over your eye and not the correct way. So we're trying to make a true kind of rainbow shape. Okay, and now I'm using that same E40 with no additional product and just blending these two colors together. And then this is a Sephora Pro Crease Brush. It's kind of on its last leg, please excuse it. And this is a taupe shade from the Morphe 28S Smoky palette. I'm focusing this mostly on the outside of my eye, bringing it towards the middle, but not to the completely on the inside. We're just doing this to intensify that outer bit of the color. And we're gonna also go in and blend these out because now we have three colors, so we've gotta make sure we keep blending. I'm using the E40 with that same brighter orange, mixing it with the lighter orangey beige color. I'm just making sure that all three of these are perfectly blended. Looks like this. And then this is a Sephora brush that I'm not even going to bother telling you the name of because it's really crappy. And I picked up this sort of iridescent plum, and I think this just went on really patchy because of the brush and not because of the shadow, because I actually usually really like this shadow. But you can go ahead and use this color if you want a more basic everyday version of this look that's not so intense, and using that same orange that we were using before, make sure that you blend that out again. This looked fine, but it wasn't the intense plum that I was really looking for. I tried to intensify it by putting this sort of cool toned matte purple into the crease to intensify it, but it still didn't really give me what I was looking for. You can still do this. This is a pretty look. It just wasn't what I was going for. So I grabbed this true plum from the matte palette and my trusty E55 shader brush from Sigma, which I know will lay down a ton of color really evenly. So this is really what's going to give me that dark plum smoky eye that I was originally going for. You can see how much more color there is now. And using that same orange, I'm blending it out again. So this is the more intense version of this look. You can still kind of see a little bit of that shimmer poking through, which was fine with me. But if you use just this matte shade, it'll just be a matte eye. And now I'm going in with their Real Push-Up Liner. I love this liner. I talked about it in my October favorites. It does not go anywhere, you guys. This will stay perfect until you are ready for it to come off. And even then, you might have a tough time. But I love it for that reason. And I find it really easy to use on top of the eye. It's kind of not easy to do a wing though. But my tried and true trusty friend is my NYC Liquid Liner, which I will use in a second. I'm just putting this on the top of my waterline to really make it seamless with those lashes. And here's my bestie for a wing liner. Also talked about it in my favorites. Sorry I didn't get that initial wing on camera, but you can see how I make my wing here with this product. It's kind of easy to see where to put your wing when you have the tape, and then just flick it in. You can go over a little bit of that original liner if you'd like, just to make it more seamless, but there's no need. I'm just doing it just cause. And I wouldn't be me if I didn't use my Best Lash Extreme from Jordana. Just put on some mascara. And now it's time for lashes. I just place them right in the middle, and then I use some tweezers to kind of move them around into the position they need to be. And then after it's kind of mostly dry, I take my tweezers and I just press into my original lashes to blend them in with each other. I know this is probably freaking some of you out to put a sharp tweezer near your eye. And this is the look. These are the Red Cherry number 43s, by the way. And now I've done my face, and I'm going in with that same plum from before and a Morphe flat definer brush. I'm going to run this all over the bottom of my eye. You don't have to do this. I just really believe that smoking out the bottom lash on a smoky eye is going to make your eye look 10 times bigger than if you didn't. I know some people are like, I don't want to put purple under my eye. It's going to make me look like I have a black eye or that I'm really tired, but trust me, it doesn't. And now I'm taking another purple. It's a little bit deeper shade, and I'm focusing this mostly on the outer portion of my eye, but still bringing it in all the way, but there's not going to be as much product on that inner part. This is just going to intensify that outer corner and give it more of a cat eye. And then using a Morphe pencil brush and this softer orange color, we haven't used this one yet, I'm going to blend this out. You can do this if you're doing the basic look, and then if you're doing the more dramatic look, take the deeper orange that we had been using and run that along the bottom lash line. You don't have to be perfect with blending because we're going to go in with that same Sigma E25 and no additional product, and just make sure we really blend this out and smoke it through. Pretty! I like it. And now I'm using the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in 0, and I'm just going to line my lower waterline. This really makes your eyes pop, especially with this look. And this is what's going to prevent your eyes from looking like you just got punched in the face or didn't sleep. This makes it look like a look. And then make sure you get some mascara on those bottom lashes. Ties it all together. Bam! Dunsies! So that's what we have. So now I'm going to finish off my lips because they look pale as beep. And I'm using the Italia lip liner in Natural. I got this at the Morphe store. I'm not sure where else you can buy it, but I really like it. That's not a cute look. So let's put some lipstick on. This is the Bare Minerals Marvelous Moxie in Maverick. I really like this. I also talked about this in my October favorites. It's not quite a gloss and not quite a liquid lipstick. It's somewhere in the middle. It's interesting texture. I really like it for that reason. And I think it's really pretty for fall because it's not too much, not too little, and it goes with pretty much every look. And that's it. If you like this look, please don't forget to like, thumbs up, share, subscribe. And if you try it at home, please take a picture and tag me on Instagram. I'd love to see you guys. See you next time. Bye.